Greetings, EastEnders fans, and welcome to the Albert Square After Dark, the awards for 2023. This is very exciting. Hope you're well. We figured, seeing as 2023 was such a high quality year for EastEnders, that we needed to do our own little awards. And seeing as how ITV have decided not to do any soap awards for this year, we will step in. Don't you worry about that. We're here. We're here to fill the void. I mean, we're not really talking about the other soaps. We're just mainly talking about, let's be honest, the best soap of 2023, obviously. Joining me is Ree. Hello, Ree. How are you this week? Today?
Hi, Rob.
We only did this yesterday.
I was going to say, I'm the same as yesterday, yeah, all good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm very excited to get announcing these awards. Oh my days,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen! You voted. My God, did you vote? We had well over 1,000 votes for all the different categories, so we did very well. So thank you very much for getting yourselves involved. That's just what we wanted you to do. And there is, however, one award that we're going to talk about first that nobody voted for except us. It's like we're the panel for that one, isn't it? That's exciting because all soap awards need a panel. We are the panel. So for the first vote, let's talk about Albert Square After Dark's Platinum Star Award. Right then, let's kick off proceedings with this first little award that me and Ree and I, have awarded personally. Now, if you are a regular viewer of the podcast, we've been doing this since about April of 2023, okay? And each week, we discuss the events that have happened in EastEnders that week, and we have both awarded a gold star to someone that stood out in that week's episodes. And since we've been doing it since April, that's a lot of gold stars that have been accumulated. And so the Albert Square After Dark Platinum Star Award goes to the person or the character that has received the most gold stars throughout the year. Isn't that exciting?
Yes, very.
Now, the gold stars, I mean, did you have any idea who you thought might be winning this? We were surprised, I think, who got the most stars.
Yeah, I weren't that sure, to be honest, because I think we've been quite even. We've spread them quite evenly, I feel.
We really, really did.
Well.
And we should say a massive, massive thank you to the timeline at YT, who comments on the videos on YouTube, who has been gathering the gold stars throughout the year, because we literally could not have done this without you. So thank you so much. Like, you get a gold star as well. Stick that on your chart. Stick that on your chart. You get one as well. So we can officially reveal that the winner of the Albert Square After Dark Platinum Star Award for 2023 is
Cindy Beale.
Cindy Beale. There you go. She was awarded 5 stars throughout the year, which, you know, it might not sound like a lot on its own, but as you go throughout the year, lots of stars going in all different directions. 5 stars. Cindy has won this year's award, and I think fair play to her, actually, because she came back with a bang. You've really liked Cindy. I think a lot of the stars came from you, didn't they?
I was just thinking, I think a lot of those stars were me. Don't regret it.
No, not at all. She's been great. It's been really nice to have Cindy back, and it feels like there's a lot more for Cindy to be getting up to. It feels like we're only just getting started, really, with Cindy. I know the 6 storyline sort of quite took over the year, so I feel like 2024 might be more Cindy's, like, big year. But it was
Cindy and
return.
George's year.
Yes, indeed.
The next award is for Best Episode. The top 3 nominees were Cindy's flashback episode, the Suki Nish Ravi in the Woods episode, and the 6th flash forward episode. And the winner is...
with 27% of the vote, the 6th flash forward episode, which was written by Darren Little and aired in February. Now, it's hard to imagine how that one, something to do with the 6 was always going to win best episode, I think, because it really just set the year in motion, didn't it? That first flash forward, we didn't really know what was going to happen. They did a bit of marketing beforehand. Just all we knew was that in a flash, everything changes. And we had all these trailers, and we knew that something was going to revolve around those 6 women, but we had no idea what. And that episode, I really enjoyed, because it was basically all set in the Vic, and was just sort of conversations between the 6 women, sorting out their lives, talking to their men, and just like looking at these women and the situations they were in, and then leading into a flash forward, the first time EastEnders had ever done that. and set a mystery in motion that really, really, really got the nation talking, didn't it?
I mean, 2023 EastEnders wouldn't have been anything without a Six Flash Foot. That's a lie. I mean, it's been great otherwise.
I know
But
what you mean,
I feel
though.
like it set the tone for the entire year of
It
EastEnders,
is.
didn't
It's
it?
hard. It is hard to imagine 2023
Mm,
without the six. And like you
yeah.
say, there was a lot of amazing stuff that happened in 2023. And let me tell you, the
A
rest of
lot.
the rest of the awards will show you that. But I think, yeah, it was the storyline of 2023, I think, and I think it's appropriate that the episode that kick-started it won best episode for the year, I think.
And you know what? Right? Stay Another Day now is just the song of the sixth episode to me.
Yeah.
It actually came on randomly on a playlist I was playing the other day. And straight
Yeah.
away I just went to the six and I was like, that song has changed forever now.
Is it actually a Christmas song, that song?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it? Oh,
Won't
okay.
you
Yeah,
stay another
no,
day?
stay now, stay now.
It's not like, it don't mention Christmas. I think it was probably a Christmas #1 back in the 90s or
Oh,
something,
okay.
which is why it's a Christmas song.
I mean, it sort of reminds me of, like, you remember the Lucy storyline? Shine Bright Like a Diamond was sort of the song that was attached to
Oh,
that, wasn't
yeah,
it? Shine
yeah,
Bright
yeah.
Like a
Like a
Diamond.
diamond.
That song. So it's nice that, like, this has got a song attached to it as well. That's something to think of for the future, I think. If you want a storyline to work out, you stick a song with it. Give it a theme tune. Always works. Always works. So there we go. 27% of the vote, of your vote, we should say, voted the 6th Flash Forward episode of the best episode for 2023. The next award is for Best Family. So, Best Family now. The 3 top votes for Best Family, as voted by you, were the Mitchells, the Slaters, and the Panesars. And we can now announce that the winner of the Best Family Award is
The Slaters with 36% of the votes.
I have to say, I love the Slaters, but I'm surprised, actually. Are you? They weren't.
Yeah, I
feel
thought
like
the
they weren't.
Panesars were going to get it.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, like I say, I love the Slayers, but I feel like they've become a
Same.
lot they've become a lot smaller now. I think, especially since Kat kind of left the Slaters and became more of a
Oh, and
Mitchell
see, I think that's interesting because I actually think they've become bigger.
with Eve, yeah, and
Because
Freddie,
I
I
class
guess,
Eve,
yeah.
Harvey,
That's
Freddie,
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
Baby Charlie.
And now
I
Suki
class
lives with them.
all of them.
That's true.
I
That's
mean,
very,
think
very
about
true.
how many people are in the Slater household now.
Yeah, it's like a
Quite a
TARDIS.
lot.
It's like a TARDIS.
And-
That house.
And Kat's still not a Mitchell yet, Rob.
She is a Mitchell. She is a Mitchell. She got married to it.
Oh,
and
God.
what are you talking
Yeah,
about,
sorry.
woman?
Sorry, we'll do
You know
a
that wedding that they
podcast
had?
about it.
You know that wedding that they had that we spent a whole week talking about it, and then Kat Mitchell appeared on the credits? That's what happened then, Ree. That was what that was.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
I'd remembered the multicolored dress, because I didn't see her in an actual wedding dress. That's
No.
why.
No, there
Sorry
you go.
about that.
So she is a Kat Mitchell. She is a Mitchell now. She's officially a Mitchell and everything. But I tell you what, the Slaters have had a great year. In all fairness, and I like an underdog family. I like a family that's a vote result that surprises. That's good.
And when you think about it, the Panesars aren't actually the best family, really,
Oh,
are
controversial.
they?
Controversial.
No, I mean, as in, like, they're not like they've now split.
They're a fairly
in
new
the sense
family
as
as
a
well.
family.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't mean it as in like they're not the best. I mean, it depends what you feel the best means.
But I think also the
God,
Slaters.
I'm just digging
Just keep digging.
during this
What I would say is the Slaters have got a lot of iconic characters within it as well, and a lot of iconic women as well, haven't they? And then bringing Eve into that as well, who has become instantly popular. So I feel like the Slaters, yeah, fair play to them. And it was 36% of the vote is a good number of votes as well. So yeah, fair play to them. So the Slaters, there we go, win the Best Family Award. Coming up next is Best Return.
So the top 3 nominees for the Best Return Award are Alfie Moon, Yolandi Truman, and Cindy Beale. And the winner is...
with 65.5% of the vote is Cindy Beale. Well done, Cindy. Yeah, I mean, not a surprise, really, I don't think.
No.
That was a massive return. The only thing that could have made that 10 times better was if the Sun had kept their nose out and not leaked it, right?
Stop saying the name.
Oh, I know.
Don't give them any publicity, Rob. Come
on.
on.
Wound me up.
No, totally agreed. Hey,
Wound
do you
me
know
up.
what? It was still a fantastic return, but
It was.
imagine the shock that would have been when we
Yeah.
didn't realise, when we were like,
It would have
wow,
been
it actually is.
it would have been, I think, the TV moment of 2023 if we had no idea that was coming.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad for the show, who had clearly tried their damnedest to make that the biggest secret and the biggest shock
I
and the
mean,
biggest reveal. But it was
like
what
the
it was.
Christmas Day reveal was such a shock, weren't it?
Yeah,
Because it didn't get leaked at all. So
yeah.
imagine that with Cindy's return. Still fantastic though, nonetheless, as the voters proved. You all
Yeah,
agree?
absolutely. And I loved the build up to Cindy as well. You know, that moment where she sort of lowers her glass, you sort of see this woman from across a pool, she lowers her glass, and then it's like, oh my God, it's Cindy. And then we go into an episode that we haven't done in so long where we are on location. Well, we were on location, really. But you know, we were on
Yes, we were,
location
Rob.
in the land of the story. We were on location. You know, it's set in France, and Ian was back as well. Peter was back, played by Thomas Law. Lauren was back. That following episode was
That was a
amazing.
secret. We didn't expect
Yeah,
Thomas Law
that's true.
Peter back, actually, did we?
And we didn't know Lauren was returning either.
No,
So
no,
that
not
was
at that
that
point,
was all
yeah.
good. And then Cindy's return, then just leading into what we got, because then it was a few months before she turned up again and turned up on the square. But then she gave us, I have to say, what was one of my top episodes of the entire year, which was that episode where we flashed back and it turned out that Cindy had come back to Wolford on the Good Friday that Ian found out that Lucy had died, and it felt completely and
That were
utterly
amazing.
right.
It was, yeah.
Fat Boy came back. Now that was a shocker. We weren't expecting to see Fat Boy again. That was good. That was really, really good.
I'd love to see Fat Boy back permanently. I still think they could write him as coming back, but
How would you do that? He was crushed in a car crusher, wasn't he?
we didn't see him. We
That's
didn't
because you're
see
not
him
allowed.
crushed
That's
in the
because you're not allowed to show
car.
that. You're not allowed to show that at 7:30 on BBC One.
Just do a flashback episode of him somehow breaking out
If in
at
doubt,
Boo.
if in doubt, do
Yeah,
a flashback episode. Yeah, there you
broke
go.
out at Boo. They didn't see
Yeah.
him. Then he's run off. Well, we still got that Christmas card from Fedor, didn't we?
That's true. Yeah, yeah. I can't help but feel that that was a little bit of an Easter egg, though, and a little bit of a treat for fans. But
What, just for the flashback
yeah,
episode?
yeah,
Possibly.
yeah. But it was really nice, and we couldn't have had that without Cindy's fantastic return. And I can't wait, like I say, to see what happens with Cindy in 2024. I feel like we're only just scratching the surface with her. There's a lot more to discover, I think, with her, especially now that we're meeting George's parents, and we've got a whole mystery about what's gone on with George and where he's come from and what his story is, what secrets are being kept from him. And Cindy, I think, is going to be very heavily involved in that. So bring it on. I cannot
Just a bit.
wait. They make a great partnership. And talking of partnerships, how's that for a link? That was good, wasn't it? I've been doing this for a while, you can tell. The next award goes to Best Partnership. So on to Best Partnership now. And this feels like quite a big one. The top 3 nominees, as voted for by you for Best Partnership, were Suki and Eve, Jay and Lola, or Freddie and Bobby. And the winner, with 58.5% of the vote, was
Suki and Eve.
Is anyone surprised? Is
No,
anyone
not
really
remotely.
surprised?
I'll tell you what my surprise is, Rob, with that one. So
Yep.
obviously we're announcing the top 3 nominees, right?
Yes.
I can't believe that Ben and Callum aren't in there for best partnership in our
Well,
listeners' votes.
that's it. You rub the salt into their wounds, why don't you, Rick?
I'm just saying.
Well,
I'm
no, you're quite,
surprised.
especially over, with Freddie and Bobby made it into the top 3.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Arguably, it's not been, apart from, Ben's, it's not been a big year, I don't think, for
Yeah,
Ballum
true.
as a pairing, has it? Like, Ben's had his time, but I think Callum has kind of been just a bit more of a supporting character to
Very
all of
true.
Ben's storylines. So, in terms of a partnership, I don't think Ballum have been that prominent, really.
Yeah.
And Suki and Eve have absolutely sort of taken over the year in terms of partnerships. And what a partnership they are. The on-screen chemistry between Malvinda Sopel and Heather Peace is magnificent. The storyline itself has been so well written. They've really sort of taken their time with it, sort of looking at Suki's sort of confusion with her own sexuality, and sort of really studied their relationship, which I think is so important in this sort of story.
Now you're saying it is one thing that has not been remotely rushed in any way, I don't feel.
No.
Suki and Eve thing. We've had the build up of the relationship, and then even when it's finally been revealed, that didn't feel rushed at all. It felt like the exact right time for it to all come out, I feel
It really
like.
did, yeah, and I feel
Yeah.
like, Nish was a great part of that as well. Like, the episode that he found out was
Yeah, of
really,
course.
really tense. You wanted Suki to get away from this, but the way that it was written, the way that the story was constructed, you were running out of ways as to how that could possibly happen. And it still sort of feels now as though they think they're free, but are they free? There's still a lot more to come with that.
I
Um,
feel so sad that they've it's finally all come out. They can finally be themselves. They can
mm,
finally be a couple. And then Suki's keeping another secret that she's got to keep
yeah.
from Eve.
But
Oh, I feel so bad for Suki.
how long is that going to stay a secret for? Honestly,
Well, that's the thing, isn't
I
it?
think that Eve will be, sort of the person that finds out first. I have to say,
She's already noticed Stacey and Suki are whispering.
yeah, like those two
Like
living
now they're in the
together
same
with Eve.
house. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, Eve's not dumb. Eve's not stupid. She's
No.
going to cotton on that something's going on. And then what's probably going to happen is that she's going to end up following them to the barrel store when they have one of their traitor meetings,
Yeah.
and then
God,
she'll overhear.
is Eve going to suspect they're having an affair or something because they're all secrets and whispering that they're going to be doing?
I mean, I think there's going to be
Joking.
more. Yeah, I know, but like Eve's going to turn up in a hood and just sort of like watch them from behind a beer barrel or something, and then sort of stand up and
Possibly.
reveal that she knows everything. Denise will say, "Right, well, she needs to die now, so we'll have to kill her."
Right, let's kill her off while we're
Kill
at
her
it.
off while we're at
Yeah.
it. But yeah, in short, great partnership. I can't wait to see sort of what we have more of Suki and Eve throughout 2024, and this will be presumably sort of the beginning, the genesis of them actually being a couple. They are now an open couple. Everybody on the square knows about them. Suki has officially sort of come out. So it'll be really nice to sort of see this new side to Suki, this open side where she's not hiding a secret about herself. She might be hiding a secret about someone that's buried under the calf, but she's not hiding sort of her relationship status. She's
Yeah, I
not
know what you're
hiding
saying,
her
yeah.
This secret actually is probably Suki's darkest secret to her at one point, wasn't it? Like
Yeah.
the secret that she's been keeping
Dead
for
body,
all these years.
nothing. Now this one's out.
Who
I'm
cares
fine.
about that? Who cares about that? So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Can't wait. Right, ladies and gents, we'll move on to the next award now, and that award is for Best Writer.
The nominees for the Best Writer Award are Darren Little, Lauren Clee, Simon Ashdown, and Pete Lawson. And the winner with a whopping 54% of the vote is...
It's Simon Ashdown, 54% of the vote. I feel like not a huge surprise.
No.
But what I will say straight off the bat is that I think Simon Ashdown gets a lot of sort of instant recognition. I think if you ask EastEnders fans to name a couple of writers, Simon Ashdown will always be on the list, because
Yeah.
what I would say is if you are a fan of EastEnders, and if you are on the level of an EastEnders fan where you're watching our podcast, I would say throughout 2024, keep an eye on the writers on the credits, all right? Because I think you've started doing that more since you've started doing this podcast, haven't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
And I think you start to notice, different writers' patterns, different
There are
writers' ways of
patterns,
doing
yeah,
things. Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
And I think you'll find that Simon Ashdown tends to get sort of climax episodes, doesn't he? Like, he episodes that, a long running storyline will be going, and then Simon Ashdown will sort of be given the episodes where the climax happens, where the big revelations happen. Which I think sort of thrusts him into the spotlight, because that's when all the big stuff happens, and he does it
Yeah.
incredibly well. And what I would say
He
about
does.
Simon Ashdown, go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say he does a lot of the After Dark type episodes.
Yes, he
I've
does. A
found,
lot of
especially this
yeah,
past
yeah, yeah.
year. Yeah.
A lot of his
Yeah.
episodes are set at night, which is the best time of any EastEnders episode. Let's not pretend. But I would say that the reason I love Simon Ashdown's script so much is that because he's got a very distinctive way of writing, and a very distinctive way of writing dialogue. And I think a Simon Ashdown script can so often, he's a very good writer for actors. I think you hand the cast of EastEnders a Simon Ashdown script, and they just go to town on it, because I think his dialogue is sort of quite open, and at the same time sort of strict in what's being said. And what I mean by that is that it gives them room to sort of do their own little character quirks within the dialogue. Do you know what I mean by
I think
that?
it's also because he knows the characters so well that he knows,
He's been there for
and
years.
maybe even dare say the actors, that he knows
Yeah.
what they can do with it when he's writing
Yeah.
it. He knows
I
what
mean,
they're gonna, gives them a
yeah.
bit of artistic license as well.
He's been around since, I think his first episode aired in 1995. And since then, he was there and sort of one of the long running writers of the show. Then he became a sort of series consultant, one of the head storyliners. Was really integral in the creation of Stacy and the Brannings and everything that sort of went on there. So he knows those characters inside out, which is why whenever Stacy and a Lacey Turner performance mixed with a Simon Ashdown episode, you've got fire right there and then. But what I would also say with regards to the other writers that were on that list, Lauren Klee has written some sensational episodes this year. A few to name off the top of my head would be Cindy Slash Forward, would be The Death of Lola. She wrote the Christmas Day episode. So she's been getting a lot of big episodes as well, and she does them bloody well, I have to say. Like, she's a sensational writer. So, yeah, it's really, really good stuff there. So, what I would say, ladies and gents, is for throughout 2024, keep an eye on the writers' credits, and you never know, maybe Simon Ashdown's might be toppled off his perch from some of the viewers next year. We shall have to wait and see. But yes, very well done. Next up is Best Twist. So on to Best Twist now. The top 3 nominees as voted by you for Best Twist are Cindy is Alive, Albie's True Paternity, and Linda Kills Keanu. And the winner is
Linda Kills Keanu with 56% of the votes. I mean, I can't say I'm not surprised by that, if I'm honest.
I'm not surprised.
It's still fresh to us all as well, actually.
And let's be honest, it was a bloody good twist, wasn't it? Like,
it was.
The way that the 6 storyline was built up throughout the entire year, we kind of figured, yes, something is gonna be twisted there. There's gonna be some sort of subversion of what we think or know is gonna happen. And what we got was the fact that the body on the floor wasn't even dead. And I did get the body on the floor right, and I'd said it right from the start. But
yeah, you did.
But I feel
I'm
like I
give
didn't
you that
get
one.
it. Oh, see, funny
Yeah,
enough,
but
I feel like I
did.
didn't get it. Because, yeah, the body on the floor was Nish, but the person who actually died on Christmas Day was Keanu.
True.
And killed by Linda. And very, very few people got that right. Which...
But one of our listeners did.
One of our listeners did, didn't you? I think it was Brandy Builds, I think his name is.
Brandon
Builds. Brandon Reed, or some he knows who he is, and we did mention it on the episode, so well done to you, because you did get it right and you emailed us with the right guess. But yeah, I mean, Linda killing Keanu, what a twist it was, because did you see how high up on the list of people that were going to die was Keanu for you?
I think when we were recording the 6th special episode, he had gone a little bit higher up recently, in the lead up to it, but realistically, no, I think. Well, I was convinced it was Jack, so don't ask me, Rob.
Yeah.
I was certain it was going to be Jack.
And we did sort of discuss in that theory episode about the idea that, right, so clearly a woman killing their own man, because obviously throughout the year, each woman was sort of given a man. And we kind of thought, there's very easily a way to do it that a woman could kill someone else's man there. But I don't think we really gave that theory enough credence. And that's actually what we got, was Linda killed Sharon's man. And I didn't even have Linda as being the killer that high on the list, to be honest.
No, I think the biggest shock was, like with Nish, it would have been believable because look what happened.
Yeah.
Dee hit him because he were going for Suki in a way.
Yeah.
Whereas we would not have ever expected Keanu to be strangling Sharon in the way that he did.
Yeah.
You know? So that I think in a way that's why it was such a big shock, because why would you kill Keanu? There were no real reason leading up to it that anyone would kill him.
But self-defense of a friend. And
of course. Yeah.
And the idea, obviously, being throughout the entire year that the storyline was actually about support, and the storyline was about these women sticking together, and sort of themes of friendship coming out throughout the year in times of hardship and tough times for the women. And then
you know what I've just thought? We were talking about all the photos and how Linda was looking scared and coward, whereas everyone else was strong. They told us who it were. We were like, oh, well, they must be protecting Linda.
Yeah, but they did, and they do end up saying, oh, it's genius, wasn't it? And then they did even end up telling us who it was straight away on the beginning of the Flash Forward episode, where they've always said, for who the bell tolls, first scene, the very first 5 seconds of that episode, last orders, Linda rings the bell, then wanders over and touches Keanu on the shoulder. And nobody caught it. Nobody hit on that. bloody marvellous.
But you can
Loved
say
it.
that in hindsight, because we wouldn't have thought that really at the time, would we? We wouldn't be like, who's the first two people on the episode, on the flashback?
Yeah.
Nah, we wouldn't have
No.
thought that at the time. But yeah,
Loved it.
brilliant twist. I dare say, though, had we not been spoiled by Cindy's return, that she might
Yes.
have won that category.
I
But
think
because
so,
it weren't
actually. Yeah,
such a
yeah, yeah.
twist,
Yeah. And
that's
also,
why.
I think you're right in saying that it was quite fresh in people's minds as well. Obviously,
Yeah,
Cindy's return happened all the way back in, I think it was in the middle of the summer or something like that, didn't it? So it
yeah.
was quite a while ago, and we've kind of got used to Cindy being around now. Whereas the sixth storyline has only very recently kind of begun its new chapter. It almost feels like this is the start of the sixth storyline now, with them kind of keeping the secret and hiding the body and whatever madness is going to occur with it throughout the end of the year. So there we go. Best twist, 56% for Linda kills Keanu. Coming up next, ladies and gents, is Best Newcomer.
So the top nominees, as voted by you for Best Newcomer, are Freddie Slater, George Knight, and Priya Nandra Hart. And the winner, with 38% of the votes, is...
It's Freddie Slater! Now, how are you feeling about this? I feel like he's earned that. Absolutely earned it. Because I feel like, and I will hold my hands up and say this, when the casting was announced and Bobby Brazier was announced and the character was announced, I have to say I wasn't overly excited. I kind of thought that feels, I don't know if that's right. Is this, and then, and he sort of turned up and I was kind of like, yeah, okay, he's all right. I get it, but I don't know if he's going to set the world on fire or anything. But then the year went on, we got Freddie sort of discovering about Graham. And all of a sudden, Bobby Brazier is knocking performances out of the park and really kind of hurting our hearts and hurting and just being amazing.
Yeah, 100%. I'll be honest, I was not keen on
No,
Freddie
at
Slater when he
first.
first arrived. And by the time we've got through the year, I really, really enjoyed him.
I
like
can't
Bobby
wait for him to
Brazier's
come back.
performance, Freddie Slater's character, Freddie and Bobby's dynamic,
Yeah.
like everything. He's really proved himself. Is he coming back though?
I think he is coming back. Yeah, I mean, at the minute,
Sure?
yeah. Well, we've heard nothing that he isn't, and he's got stuff to be doing when he gets back. And the minute he's sort
True.
of in the world of EastEnders when they would have been filming this, he would have still been charring on Strictly, in
Yeah.
which he did amazingly well, by the way.
Mm.
But I tell you what, I think Bobby Brazier has got a very, very, very bright future ahead of him. I think he is.
Yeah.
I feel like he's learning as he goes incredibly well, and that is a skill in this job. And in the world of soap is kind of quite frantic and quite sort of quick, and you need to sort of know the job quite quickly. And we've had EastEnders actors over the years that have sort of done that, and it's not worked out for them because just the world of soap hasn't computed well with their own personal way of doing things. But Bobby Brazier has just absolutely hit the ground running. Like you say, I love his partnership with Bobby. I'm not surprised that Freddie and Bobby did well in our poll as well for best partnership. And I feel like there's a lot more to come with them as well, like the sort of whole thing with Anna. It's like, can you
Anna,
see?
yeah,
Is there a future for
definitely.
Freddie and Anna, or is Bobby and Anna going to be the thing? I don't know which one I want to see more out of those two, to be honest.
I think Freddie and Anna are actually
You think?
so yeah, now that it's happened, yeah. It wouldn't feel as authentic if Bobby and Anna got together now. Or perhaps whilst Freddie's absent, they will, and then Freddie comes back and throws a spanner in the works.
There's all sorts of potential.
Franna, that'd be their shipping name.
Franna.
Freddie and Anna.
Franna or
Frobby.
Or Banner.
I was thinking Frobby.
Frobby. Hey, Frobby.
Oh no,
hey.
that's
No.
Freddie and Bobby. What am I
Yeah.
about?
Although that's a thing as well. If you look in the right places, the internet. Let me tell you that little scene where Freddie gave Bobby a little kiss.
You. I said that to you, and I wondered
it's a
something
thing
on that. Yeah,
it's not meant to be a thing. I don't think. I think it's very much just a
No.
case of Freddie is one of these people that's just very comfortable and doesn't really care, and sort of will kiss a guy because that's just fun, and he's having a
I know
laugh.
what you're saying. Yeah.
But you know what fandoms can be like. Sometimes they will take something and then they will run 1,000 miles with it.
Well, do you know what? We might need a new Ballum, so
well,
why not a Frobby?
Frobby. 2024 is the year of Throbby. Excellent. So yeah, very good. Well done to Bobby Brazier. He has grabbed the nation's hearts, and I can't wait to see Freddie return. Talking of characters that we want to see more of, That is the next category, character we want to see more of in 2024. So, on to the character we want to see more of in 2024. We had a long list of options for you here, and your votes meant that the top 3 in the category were Martin, Yolandi, and Bernie. And the winner of the character we want to see more of is
Bernie with 20.5% of the votes. Now, I think it's important to note it was very close between her and Martin,
very,
actually.
very close. That vote
really
was
close, yeah.
And 20 point. Yeah, I agree. Though actually, I really, really think Bernie has. She is a great community character, and she really, really, really worked well in the CAF. So it's almost like a shame that that's been taken away from her. So hopefully, the sort of role that she's got in the Vic might be sort of built up more now that she kind of works in the kitchen of the Vic a bit more.
And she's got even less family there now. Keanu's been
Barely got any now.
It's
basically just her and Felix now, isn't it?
Felix, and he's not really, well, I know he is related, but he's not technically blood, is he?
And I have to say, I actually want to see more of Felix as well. You know, that was kind of my go-to with that vote. Because Felix has kind of just come along, and again, good community character. And unique community characters, people forget this, I think. Like, when people are often going along, oh, people I'd axe this year, blah, 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 and they list off all the community characters, and that's the wrong thing to do. Because you need those community characters to make the location and the show feel authentic and real. Like, people exist, not just villains and heroes.
Yeah, like when Linda
people
were getting drunk at middle of the day at the Albert, and it was Felix who was serving her, and Felix who were refusing her, and
you need that.
We definitely need more. Bernie and Felix could be quite a good duo, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, and as a pairing, you know, they're both of the LGBT plus community, so that's some great representation that's needed there as well. And I think Bernie's a very good character, and I think Bernie is a popular character, and Claire Norris is great when she's allowed to be. She doesn't get a lot of opportunities, I don't think, to show what she can do. So let's hope and pray that 2024 is the year where Bernie can come into her own. Obviously, she's at some point going to have to learn about Keanu. What is her role going to be within that? There must be a reason that Bernie is the tailor that has been left behind. So maybe they've seen something in Bernie that they want to build more of. I hope so, but we'll have to wait and see. Can you think of anything that Bernie would be doing in 2024?
This is what I'm trying to think. Like, the only thing I can think is, could she be connected to Sharon somehow and constantly on it? Sharon, like, what? You've not heard from Keanu? Surely you'd be wanting to get in touch with about Albie. I know that they found out that Albie's not his, but I don't know. Something like that. There could be a connection in that way. I'm actually just thinking, are they just going to write that is she going to find somebody? Is there going to have some drama with a new partner? There's loads of potential for her, really.
Yeah, bring her in, girl.
Bring her a girlfriend. She's been living. She's going to be living with Chelsea and Felix as well, isn't she? So
that's good. And to be fair, that house actually is quite underused at the moment as well. So it kind of as a threesome, Chelsea is a great character to sort of build. Chelsea's a good character for other characters to be around.
Yeah.
So yeah, bring them all in. I really want to see more of that in 2024. I think 2023 has been very sort of focused on certain big storylines that involve certain groups of characters, and the community characters have been really good sort of backing singers to those storylines.
Yeah.
So hopefully 2024 will be a chance for sort of that to be subverted, and the backing singers can come to the front and show us what they can do. I think this era is the sort of era that can really blow more underused characters up and show us the potential and the talent that the actors have got. So yeah, bring it on. Next category, ladies and gents, is for best villain.
So the top nominees for best villain are Theo Hawthorne, Nish Panesar, and Ravi Gulati. And the winner with 67% of the votes is
67% of the vote goes to Nish Panesar. Again, not a huge surprise there. I think that Nish has been quite a prominent figure throughout the year, and he's bloody good at being a villain, isn't he? I think Nevin Chowdhury's fantastic, and I've really, really, really enjoyed Nish. Them sort of looking at the topic of coercive control. It's not been the key factor in it, but we know that Nish is a bad one, and we know that Suki needs to get out of that relationship.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like there's been certain parts in 2023 where we didn't really see Nish that
Mm,
much, to the
yeah,
point that I was like, is he even going to be around on Christmas Day for him to be one of the suspects?
yeah.
So then for him to win Best Villain, yeah, very telling of how good he's done when he has been on screen.
And this is the thing. I think when he is there, Nish, Nish is there, don't you? Like, because I think
Mm,
Nish is one of these characters that, because the other characters are scared of him, that
yeah.
means that they're very much the key focus of the scene. And I think with villains, sometimes what you get is that we are told that characters are scared of them, and we are told that they are supposed to come across as intimidating, but sometimes they don't. And I
Yeah.
think that Nish does, which is a key
Mm,
factor, I think, of why he's such a good character and why he is such a good villain, because we can sense why the other characters are intimidated by him. He
hmm.
is clearly a dangerous person. He is clearly a controlling person. He is clearly a manipulative person that his family are fearful of repercussions from. And it
Yeah,
really, really, really works. But
definitely.
I am as stunned as anybody else that he's still alive. I thought that if I
Yeah.
thought that if he doesn't die on Christmas Day, then that'll be the New Year's Day episode or something. There's some twist will
Or he's
happen
going to
where,
go to prison at
yeah,
least. It's
like
like, yeah.
I feel like we are in the final segment of Nishi's story. I have to say, like this has to be like his final revenge on Suki and Eve. I think will presumably be the final Nish
But if
chapter.
he's But this is why I'm thinking if he's not going, is he going to get with Priya or something? Because I don't see where his character's going to go otherwise, to be
Mm.
honest. Other than
But
he's what going to be manipulating
yes,
the rest of the family. But I don't think Ravi's going to let him do that. Ravi seems to have decided to stick up to it, like stand
but
up for himself.
can he get round Ravi again? Do you think, or do you reckon that he's? Well, do you? Yeah, I mean, Christmas Day hit him over the head with a rolling pin, so it feels
Yeah.
difficult to walk away from that. And we've seen Ravi's relationship with Nish go through different stages throughout the year. Like we've seen
Mm.
how Ravi is fearful of him and appalled by him in a lot of ways as well.
Hmm.
So you sort of wonder whether the thing that went on with Eve and then all the events of Christmas Day is enough now for Ravi to be able to take a step back and go, no, you are a bad human being and I don't want to be associated or like you in any way.
I mean, when Suki talked the family round to go and see Nish in hospital,
Yeah.
I think Ravi was only there for the kids because they wanted to go. Because when Suki came back in, Ravi said, she went, is he all right? And went, oh, he's breathing, unfortunately. So he
Mm.
clearly still hasn't forgiven him. I can't see him. Is he going to go back to the family home? But just hang on. What
Well,
happened to the Panisar's original apartment? Isn't that Ravi's? Ravi's still living there?
I think so.
Or is he
Yeah,
in the
Ravi.
Panisar house?
No, Ravi doesn't live with the Panasars at the moment. Priya does, but
Priya
and I
and
think
Avani do, and
yeah, and
Nugget.
I think Nugget lives there as well in
To and
Avani. So
fro.
yeah, I think Ravi sort of lives there on his own at the minute. I think someone will correct us if we're wrong there. I mean, the thing is, I love the Panasar dynamic, and I love all the different sort of facets of the Panasars, and that'll be a big thing throughout 2024 as well, I think. But the thing is with Nish, he has actually still got a lot of support within that family. I think Vinny is very easily manipulated.
True.
Vinny doesn't know who to like and who not to like at the moment. He just
No.
he kind of just does as he's told. And obviously, Nugget and Ivani are kind of really supportive. They love their granddad. They love their Dadaji. So it's difficult to sort of try and pull them away from Nish's control and grasp. So a lot more to come there, and I think there is still now a lot of potential for Nish to kind of continue to be a villain. But it does sort of feel like he is the sort of character with a shelf life. Admittedly, this is a shelf life that has been longer than I anticipated, but it feels like
Extended shelf
a
life.
massively extended shelf life. Um, some characters have a best before date and a best consumed before date, and maybe we've
Yeah,
gone
yeah, yeah,
we've gone into the second chapter of Nish's before date.
yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes from here. This is going to be a new side to Nish now because he's lost things. At the minute,
Mm.
throughout the year, we've sort of seen Nish at the top of his game. Nish had everything that he wanted around him, whether he knew it or not. Um, that people were kind of stepping away from him, but now he's without Suki, so we're going to
You
see
don't.
now a more unhinged
Yeah.
and dangerous side of him. I think.
The only thing I would be disappointed by is if he tries to get Suki back by saying something like, if you don't come back to me, I'm going to tell the police it was you.
Mm.
And then we go back to square one with Suki dumping Eve. And I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
want
yeah,
to go
yeah.
back to that now.
I
Suki's
don't
out. She's with
think.
Eve.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. I think that Suki's done it now. I think that she's free. I
Mm.
think that she is obviously still scared of Nish, but I think that she wants to sort of keep him happy for now while she works out what to do next. I
Yeah.
don't think there's any chance that she will go back to him at this stage. And Ravi won't let
Good.
that happen either, I don't think.
That's true. Yeah, hopefully. Maybe that's what the next beef's going to be then. It's going to be some big rivalry with Nish and Ravi and Vinny being in the middle of it. Priya
Mm.
thinking, well, who can I get more money and support from out of these two?
Yeah.
Probably Nish. So,
Probably Nish,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, much
Mm.
more to come there. Marvelous. What a storyline it was. And talking of what a storyline it was, we now move on to best storyline. So on to the penultimate award now, and that is for best storyline. And the three top voted storylines by you were Suki and Eve's love story, Loving and Losing Lola, and The Six Mystery. And the winner, as voted by you, is
The Six Mystery with 56% of the votes.
I mean, again, not really a surprise, is it? It's been such a
No.
huge part, and it deserves it as well. You know, I don't want to talk it down. It has been the most brilliant storyline to watch. It's been gripping, it's been fascinating, it's been twisty, it's been turny. It's shown six strong female characters absolutely at their peak throughout the entire year.
100%. However, I'm going to say one thing.
Oh, go on then.
I am surprised that Loving and Losing. I am a bit surprised it wasn't more close between that and Loving and Losing Lola.
Do you know what?
However,
Yeah,
I was going to say it feels like that were about 2 years ago.
it's been a long
Losing
time since
Lola
then.
with everything that's happened like on EastEnders this year.
But you know what? Our awards are probably the first set of awards that storyline hasn't won. To
Yeah,
be fair,
that's true. That's true.
that certainly had its fair share of accolades, and it was fully deserved. Like that storyline
Yeah.
was absolutely heartbreaking.
Mm.
But I think the six storyline actually is one of the reasons why EastEnders feels like it's going through such a resurgence at the moment, and it's going through such a massive golden period at the moment because it. What's the tagline of EastEnders and has been for so many years? EastEnders, everyone's talking about it, and everyone has been talking about the six storyline, demonstrated no less by the amazing ratings that EastEnders got over Christmas. You know, well over 5 million viewers watched it. It was one of the highest viewed shows on Christmas Day, and it continues to just do extremely well. It's consistently up year on year, and I feel like that is very much due to the six storyline. You know, it's been such a massive talking point. There is nothing like a well-constructed mystery to sort of really pull viewers in and get them talking and get them theorizing. Like the theories that were flying around about the six storyline was mental.
Well, do you know that there's a little psychology trick there.
Oh,
So
I.
well, it'll make sense. So when sometimes people will read the last page of a story,
Yeah.
right, before they've read the book.
Okay. Why would
Some
anyone
people
do
do
that?
that.
Why?
I've done it once before, and it was interesting.
Okay.
Right, I did do it once.
Okay.
But apparently it's because this is why people like rewatching films over and over, because you like to know what's going to happen. So you
In
like the
retrospect.
spoiler, and it's watching the build up and trying to figure out the mystery. So it makes total
Ah.
sense
Yeah,
as to
yeah,
why
yeah.
they've done this. They say that's
Yeah,
why people
I
like watching
understand.
films over and over. You know what the ending's going to be,
Mm,
and then in hindsight, because you know what the ending's going to be, you enjoy watching the build up a lot more. So
yeah.
yeah, makes like
Yeah,
genius.
that makes sense. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was such a cleverly constructed storyline.
Mm.
And I think when you're doing a storyline like this, I mean, on paper, actually, giving the ending away to a story, well, sort of giving the ending away to a story, like saying this is what's going to happen in
Half, yeah.
10 months.
Yeah.
10 months. And you're going to watch it all the way through that, and then you'll find out how we got there in 10 months. On paper, actually, that is insanity. You
Yeah.
know, there's a lot, and it's dangerous as well. Like a lot can go wrong in that time. I think Hollyoaks tried to do something like this, and I can't. And something went a bit wrong for them somewhere along the way, where they had to change a few
Yeah.
things. So it's actually quite a dangerous way of approaching a story. So you've got to have absolute trust in your writers. You've got to have absolute trust in your actors and your storyliners to construct it all perfectly. And then you've actually just got to hope that nothing messes up along the way, like an actor falls ill or has to
That's what
leave,
I was
or
just thinking.
there
Yeah,
is
for
there is a
whatever
danger
reason.
of that. There is a genuine
Imagine
danger
if
of
one
that.
of them had been pregnant and they've got a shot of him,
Yeah,
like bump upwards.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
So really, really, really sort of risky way of telling a story, but it absolutely paid off, didn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I cannot think of an EastEnders Christmas that I was more excited for than this year, than the one just gone, like for
Yeah,
2023's.
same.
Like, I was so buzzing for it. And do you know what I think this has also done? Is it's made the BBC really proud of EastEnders again. Because they are
And
shouting EastEnders' performance from the rooftop these days, and it's been a while since they've done that.
it feels like all the crew, cast, and everyone are really proud of EastEnders at the
They're having
minute
a
as
whale of a
well.
time. They are having an absolute whale of a time, and it shows. You know, all
I
of the
mean,
cast.
we've not, sorry, I was going to say we've not done an award for anybody such as Chris Crenshaw, but perhaps we
Well,
should
the
be
Chris
giving
Clencher
our own
Award.
award to Chris Crenshaw this year.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, just the Chris Crenshaw
he
award.
certainly gets a recognition award for what he's done for
Yeah.
that show. Like, it's, and I think he's the sort of person that would very much say, well, it's a team effort, and actually, yeah, it is a team effort. You know,
Oh,
yes,
that's even nicer. That's
yeah,
even more brilliant.
he's just a nice bloke, isn't he? A nice
Yeah.
bloke.
Top bloke.
Top bloke with a top knot. He's a great bloke. And he really has taken the show into some new and exciting directions, you know. And the six storyline is like a key part of that. It was the storyline of 2023, and I would go as far to say the soap storyline of 2023. Like, no other soaps
Yeah.
were like doing
And
anything
you know
close to
what?
that.
I watched two other soaps, okay? So I feel like I can say that
Yeah,
100% it was the best one out there.
nothing was touching it, was it?
Sold. No,
Really?
nothing at all. Nothing at all.
So, and you clearly agreed with 56% of the vote. The Six Mystery won for best storyline. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the final award is for best performance.
So the final award is going for best performance. Now, this is the biggest award,
Oh,
everybody.
this is an honour. If you get this off us, this is up there with a knighthood, honestly. This is an Oscar, a BAFTA, everything.
Honestly, biggest award of the awards show this year. Best performance, as voted for by you. And the top three are Danielle Harold, Kelly Bright, and Balvinda Serpal. And the winner is Rob.
Drum roll, please. The winner of the best performance for 2023 goes to Balvinda Sopal with 38% of the vote. And yeah, that feels right. I think, like, Suki Panesar, what a character she is. I would say that Suki actually is a bit of a modern day iconic character. Like, you know,
100%.
like you
Yeah.
get characters, you know, like in the vein of Peggy or Pat. Like, I think
Yeah.
Suki is a character that will be recognized in that vein for this era of for this like for the 2020s.
Yeah.
Like, she's a great character, and Balvinda plays her so well. There are so many layers to her, so many facets to her, and that is all in performance.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think I personally have ever stated how much I love Suki Panesar, actually, and Balvinda Serpil, because she's just incredible. And I totally agree with what you said about her being in the same vein as Peggy and Pat. In my head, there's no doubt about
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
I'm actually kind of surprised that Suki didn't win our Platinum Star, but I don't think we voted for her that much.
Which is
Weirdly,
mad,
this year.
really, isn't it? But you can't control.
Yeah.
That's why I like that Platinum Star Award, because actually, because we kind of throw them out just quite instinctively. So it's kind
Yeah.
of anybody can kind of win that. So, which is a nice award to get. But for 38% of the viewers, and we got thousands of votes. So for the 38% to be voted for Balvinda Sopal, I think is quite illustrative of what the viewers think of Suki and Balvinda Sopal. She is
Yeah.
a really popular character. And I think it's really interesting, actually, that the John Sen era is maybe sort of maligned a little bit by viewers. You know, it was quite a problematic era in a lot of ways. But what I have always said about that era is that it gave us some fantastic characters, and Suki was one of them.
Yeah.
All right, Suki.
Panesar, weren't
The
they? Weren't
Panesars,
they all
yeah,
introduced
not all of
him,
them.
yeah.
I think, you know, Nish and Ravi came along in the Clenshaw era,
Course, yeah.
but
Yeah.
all the other Panesars arrived during the Sen era. And Suki stood out immediately for me. Like, when Suki arrived, she was a bit of a bitch. She was very manipulative, and there was
She was
elements
lying
of
about having cancer, Rob, when she
I mean,
first arrived.
and it's kind of difficult to sort of see Suki doing something like that these days. But actually, you look at some characters and think, God, they're not the same person as they were years ago. Like,
Mm,
that's kind of, that feels inconsistent. But actually, Suki's journey makes it make
yeah,
sense, doesn't it? Like, you can understand how someone can go from that to what we have now. And she still has that ruthlessness about her. She still has that side of things that I think out of all of the six, Suki's the one that you
yeah.
wouldn't mess with,
Hmm. We've seen
So,
her evolve, and yeah, she
yeah,
is, like you said,
massively.
she's still got that ruthlessness. Like, even how she's been with the six now that everything's happened, she is I would say, has been consistently the coolest, calmest person throughout
Yeah.
this entire scenario, hasn't she?
It's like the Ranveer stuff kind of gave her a rehearsal for it. And
Yeah,
I think also, obviously, meeting Eve has been a massive, massive part of her journey.
yeah.
Um, Eve has changed her, uh, and really sort of brought out the more vulnerable and warm and loving side of her. I think. I think due to Eve that actually Suki is now more maternal towards her kids. Like when she first arrived, she was very sort of icy, very, very
Mm.
strict, and doing things like sending her kids to prison for punishment. Like most mothers ground their kids. Suki doesn't, she sends them to prison. So it's like
Do you
she is,
think she always just maybe had that barrier up, Suki, because you're obviously
yeah,
hiding that? I mean, that's how you could interpret it now, because you're always hiding that secret. So
yeah,
she's always had that barrier up, even with her own children. And
absolutely.
now that's been,
Yeah, she's
I
allowed.
mean, she's so maternal towards Vinny now, isn't she?
Yeah, and I think that's quite reactionary to how Nish is, and it's interesting
Yeah.
that if you see facets of your own character in somebody else that you don't like, you will completely and utterly go against the grain of what that character trait is. And I think that she saw a
Mm,
little bit of her own cruelty in Nish at times.
yeah.
So she sort of stepped away from that and become a better person because of Eve and because of what she sees in Nish that she doesn't want to become. And Nish definitely changed her as a person when they were together originally. Like she was the Suki that we first met, evidently was the product of that abusive relationship. 30 years, I
Yeah.
think she said they were with Nish, wasn't she? So that changed her. And 30 years of being someone that she wasn't, having to pretend and having to hide her own feelings. And she's had a really, really rough time of it, actually, if you look at Suki's history. And I cannot wait to see what more comes for Suki because, like I say, she is such a fascinating, layered character. And she's one of those characters, actually, that you can take in many different directions. She can be an antagonist and she can be a protagonist. She can be an anti hero. She can be a villain. She can do she's really, really, really kind of adaptable character, which is why she's so fascinating to watch. And Balvinda Sopal plays her to perfection and clearly knows that character inside out and plays her so
Hmm.
well. I mean, some of the Suki highlights for this year have been, for me, the scenes that she's had with Nish, where she has been
Yeah.
struggling, and everybody kind of goes on about the Suki and Eve partnership for good reason. But the Nish and Suki online
Agreed.
on screen chemistry has been
Hmm.
amazing as well.
Yeah, definitely. I just, she's just all around fantastic, Balvinda.
Mm.
So, and she even brings humour to her as well.
Yeah,
She does all this. We've got all this depth. We've got
the
all this,
eyebrow.
nasty side, if you want to call it that. And then we still got humour thrown in there.
Yeah, yeah, the eyebrow, the
Mwah, chef's
handbag,
kiss.
the handbag. It's all really sort
Yeah.
of iconic things to do with Suki.
The hairstyle.
The hairstyle, the outfits, the color blue
Do you know?
now.
Do you know she always gives like pre-Eve, she's
Mm.
always giving me like Maggie Thatcher vibes. Okay,
What's
right?
it? Okay,
Iron
yeah,
Lady, the
yeah.
handbag.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I see
yeah,
what you
yeah.
mean. Yeah.
Now she's with Eve. Yeah, I feel
She's
like
thawing.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
No more Thatcher in
No.
Suki these days. It's great to see. It really, really is. And like I say, it feels like we are actually only just at the beginning of Suki's journey. And long may she remain. Balvinda Sopal needs nailing to the floor of EastEnders. She's not allowed to
Do
leave.
not leave
Don't you dare
ever.
leave because we've given you this award now, so you can't leave now. I'm afraid that's how it works. That's the thing in your contract. You might not have read it all the way through, but we've got a thing with the EastEnders producers that if we give you this award, you're actually not allowed to leave the show. Sorry about that. I don't know if that was
Oh,
made
wouldn't that
clear
be
to you.
amazing if that were actually a
If
thing,
we had
Joe?
that power,
Oh, yeah.
like
That'd be great.
every
There
single
quite a
exit had,
few, quite a
yeah,
few as well.
every single exit had to be kind of put through us first. And we'll go, no, that's not, no, I don't think so. No, they'll be staying. No, you can take them away. Yeah, that's fine, absolutely fine.
Imagine that power. Brilliant.
Oh, we should have that. So there we are then. Thank you very, very much for voting, everybody. We hope you've enjoyed the awards. We hope that your favourites won, and if they didn't, we will have another one next year. So keep an eye on what your favourites and bring new favourites into your love and warmth as you watch the show in 2024. 2023 was a great year for EastEnders, and I can't wait to see what this year brings. And we will be there to give you a podcast every single week about the events in our favourite TV soap. So we'll be back same time on Saturday for the normal podcast episode at the weekend, and we'll see you very soon. It's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.